Hello, everyone. Welcome to Wheel of Wisdom. My name is Anisha, and I help people in improving their relationship with themselves and life. So, this is a little bit about me, and let me share with you guys what we do here in this space. So, what we do is we start these lives with a meditation of around 30 minutes. But today we are going to skip that part and we are going to directly jump on to the next part where we are going to spin the wheel of wisdom and see what wants to come through, what is the guidance that wants to reach us at this point of our life. So we have a wheel of wisdom, and okay, let me show you guys the wheel. And yeah, here it is. So on this wheel, there are around 51 transformational books that I have read over a period of past 10 years. And now, what we're going to do is, I am going to spin the wheel, and the universe, God, divine, spirit, whatever you call it, is going to choose a book for us from that wheel. And then, once we get a book, what we're going to do is we're going to play a game together where I will ask you guys to pick a number between certain numbers, and you guys can share the first number that comes to your mind, and then I pick a number and do an intuitive reading for that person. So let's begin with the readings. So, for that, before we spin the wheel, in order to receive the message that you need to hear most right now, let us take a moment and ask ourselves, what do I need guidance on? And see if something specific emerges for you. And if nothing does, then simply send out this wish from your heart into the universe that may everyone listening to this receives the message that they need to hear most today. So, holding either of those things in your mind as we spin the wheel. Okay, this book came again. It came up in our last live too. So the name of the book that came up is Daily Stoic 366 Meditations on Wisdom by Ryan Holiday. So until I open the book, if you feel like, introducing yourself in the space, like, which part of the world you're joining from, then you can do so in the comments as I open the book. And if you don't feel like doing that, that's perfectly okay too. And for those who just joined, we are skipping today's meditation because I have to keep today's life short. I have to do something else later on. So, yeah, so we are directly jumping on to the readings part today. Hope that's okay with you. And if not, then you can check out my meditations that are here on the app, or you can check out previous recordings. Samira says, hi, it's Samira from Vancouver, Canada. Hi, Samira, welcome back. Welcome back to the space. So, the book that came up, the first book for today is this one, The Daily Stoic. And give me a second to choose some numbers for us. So, in a moment from now, I'm going to share with you guys two numbers between which I want you guys to choose. And There is no need to rush, just pick a number that comes to your mind, share it in the comments. I will go through all your numbers and then pick one that my intuition is feeling called to. Okay? So I invite you guys to pick a number between 22 to 380. Here you go. Thank you, Samira, for choosing a number. Anyone else? Thank you, Saul, for choosing a number. Hmm. Okay. Anyone else? Today there are like less people initially, so we might get less number, like less options. But that's okay. Your chance of winning increases. Okay, then let's see which number am I feeling most called to among the two. And if anyone just joined, I have invited you guys to pick a number between 22 to 380 so that you receive the message that you need to hear most today, right now. So, yeah, feel free to share a number in case you feel called. Okay, so the number that I am feeling most called to is 56. Thank you, Saul, for choosing a number. So let's see what wants to come through. 56. Hmm, okay. So the message for you and everyone who is in the space is steady your impulses. So there is a quote here which says, don't be bounced around, but submit every impulse to the claims of justice and protect your clear conviction in every appearance. So this is a quote by Marcus Aurelius, and then there is a like short explanation of it by the author. So the author says, think of the many people in your life, not the ones suffering from an unfortunate disorder, but the ones whose lives and choices are in disorder. Everything is soaring highs or crushing lows. The day is either amazing or awful. Aren't those people exhausting? Don't you wish they just had a filter? They had a filter through which they could test the good impulses versus the bad ones. Hi, Patrick. Good morning. You're just in time for our first reading. So, the author says there is such a filter, which is justice, reason, philosophy. So, if there is a central message of the Stoic thought, it's this: impulses of all kinds are going to come, and your work is to control them. So, thinking before you act. And what exactly can you think before you act on those impulses to, to go on a shopping spree, to binge watch web series, to, eat a lot of processed food. These are like daily life examples, or the impulses to consume any substance. So, before that, thinking or asking ourselves a simple question: who is in control here? What principles are guiding me? So, basically, testing that is this behavior in alignment with, my values, with the kind of person I want to be. And if not, then who is in control here? Because I definitely want to be that person, whoever you want to be, like disciplined, like committed, for example. So, who is in control here? And then you will realize that maybe the whole of you is not in control here at this moment. And now you have a choice. Do you want to act? Do you want to take an action, act on that impulse, and become the person that you don't want to be? Or do you want to choose differently? You do you want to take back the control? Because that choice, by making that choice is how you're taking back the control. It doesn't need to be something big, It can be just these simple questions that we can ask ourselves in the moment when we are feeling, those impulses to act in a way that is not in alignment with our values. We need um someone to like kind of pinch us in the moment, and these questions can pinch us in the moment, that it can bring awareness back, that who is in control right now in this moment. Do you want to act in this way or not? So this was our reading for, page number 56. Let me know, Saul, if it resonated with you at all, if you have been struggling with any impulses or working on them, or perhaps this question can come in handy at some other, in dealing with some other behaviors that you don't want or that you do want. So, yeah, let me know if it resonated, and anyone else also, if it resonated, you can share that in the comments. And yeah, if not, then also you can share. Um, and until you guys do that, let me spin the wheel again and see what is the second reading that wants to come through for us. So, if you have just joined, again, bring to your mind, what is it that you need guidance on today? And holding that specific thing in your mind. Um, Patrick says your signal is going in and out. Uh, okay, in my last live also this was happening. I don't know what is happening. Thank you, Patrick, for letting me know. Okay, let me check. Okay, give me a second to check. Okay, my video also keeps pausing. Then it might be the internet. Okay, let me check. And just checking, is there like any major device that is operating in my home, which is like taking all the Wi-Fi? Just give me a second. Okay, let me try searching. Um, there is no other device operating. Okay, how it shows green now, the signal kind of. Like, is my audio clear now? Is my audio video better now? Okay, it is much better. Okay. Sorry for the the inconvenience. I'm so sorry. So were you guys able to hear the reading that I did, like the message that I read? Did you got it, or like should I repeat it? Were you able to hear the message? Okay, most of it, if you want to. We didn't get the second one. Okay, then in that case, I can read the second paragraph. Thank you guys for helping me out here. So, yeah, so the author said that when we have these kind of impulses, then what we can do is to think before act. So basically, asking ourselves this question: who is in control here? What principles are guiding me? So, when you do that, when you are having an impulse, and instead of giving in, instead of acting on it, you take a pause and you ask yourself that who is in control here? Am I in control? Th- Is this what I want? Is this the kind of person who I want to be, who behaves in this manner, who give in into these kind of impulses? If not, then there might be other part of you that is operating, and you need to take back control. And that sometimes happens automatically, when you become aware of it, you realize that this is the behavior that I don't want to continue. Then you take back control by making a choice to behave differently. That is how you take back control in that moment, by making a choice that, okay, I can feel this discomfort for a while, but I'm not going to behave in a manner that is not aligned with me, and I behave differently. Patrick says, as manifestors, we have the power to control those aspects that we want to happen. Thank you, Patrick, for sharing that. And yeah, and before we even like take back control, we need to ask ourselves this question that the author shares, that who is in control? Am I or am I not? Because most of the times, all of this happens automatically. It has become a very, familiar pattern for us. We just, directly give into the impulse, and, before we know it, we have acted. So we need to create that pause in between. And if you struggle with that, maybe mindfulness might be able to help you, because that helps you stay in the present moment, stay more connected with your body, so that as soon as the impulse, the sensations, emerges within you, you catch them, you ask yourself these questions, and then you take back control. So that is also, another thing that might be able to, another tool that you need in your toolkit, which is awareness of the present moment. Patrick says sometimes we think we can't control or don't have control, but we do have more control, more power than we realize. Exactly, exactly. I agree with you, Patrick, on that. That sometimes we use everything, but think about, or we might be, working on that situation, trying to improve it, but in the back of the mind, some part of us believe that, okay, that I don't have any control in this situation, and that feeling of helplessness is not going to be helpful in that moment. So we need to, clarify what is in my control, what is not in my control, and then work upon that, what is in your control, focus your energy there. So yeah, there's that. Thank you, Patrick, for this kind donation. I hope that something wonderful happens in the life of your loved one. That is the wish that came up for me. So, yeah, I wish you that. I hope that this kindness ripples back in their life and eventually touches you. Okay, so yeah, that is our first reading for today. And in case, you want to dive deeper into this control thing, like exploring for your specific situation, taking back control for your specific situation, then I do have a resource for those who are interested in that. You can like check it out, and if not, you can ignore it, So there's that. And now comes our second reading for today. So, bringing to mind whatever it is that you need guidance on and holding that in your mind. Okay, so we talked about including mindfulness, and the universe did it for us. So, this book, which is The Mindful Day by Laurie J. Cameron. So, this book includes very, like, you know, a lot of practices that you can do to become more present within your day instead of doing something else, adding something, just making your day more alive in a manner. Kathleen says, this really helps me because I have been learning how I don't have control of outside events and people, and having control has been a source of safety in the past, and letting go is challenging. Yeah, Kathleen, I completely agree. It's so difficult when you feel like I'm going through, something hard, and I want to feel like I am in control, like I have the control that I need. And to know that there are certain factors, certain things that are not in my direct control, you might influence it in some manner, you might, you know, do the energy work in some manner, but it is not in your direct control. And that is the truth. That's how certain factors are not. And it is sometimes difficult to accept them, but also it is very freeing to accept that, to to know that okay, it won't help me if I keep on putting my energy in that direction, whether it is whether it is not even in terms of your behavior, what you're doing, but in terms of your thoughts, what you're thinking. If you keep on thinking about that particular thing that is not in your control, then it is not serving you, it is just keeping you stuck in that situation. And it is very hard, it's not just purely logical, like you can get through the steps in a logical manner. There is a feeling aspect to it, and we need to like invite those feelings, whatever feelings come up, stay with them, comfort those parts, and then, and as they feel more comforted, the process becomes more smoother for you to, keep moving forward. So, yeah, it's, I am, I'm proud of you that you're going on this path. I hope that this process becomes easier for you as, each day passes. You're welcome, Kathleen. Um, and okay, and before I move on and open the book, and Kathleen or anyone else who wants to like address that emotional part, I have a meditation on this in this very course that I put up, which is the art of acceptance, and that actually helps you process it emotionally. Because again, as I said, it is not just all here or all in your surroundings, it is here. So you need to like be there with yourself as you move through this, all those emotions that comes up. So in case you need support, you can check out that meditation in this course as well. And I hope that it makes you feel accompanied on this path. Okay, so now let us open our second book, which is The Mindful Day by Laurie J. Cameron. So, my dear ones, let's see. What wants to come through this beautiful book? So, this is our book. Patrick says, as we tap into our learning processes, it really does get easier. Now, some days are harder than others, but we have to look at the overall bigger picture. Exactly, Patrick. Thank you for sharing, kind of like a reassurance for Kathleen or anyone on this path, that it is going to be easier. Again, not all days, even if you feel like, okay, it is much easier, but still there are going to be some days that are going to be hard, but it is eventually going to become easier for you to do that. So yeah, that's very nice of you, Patrick. Okay, so we were choosing numbers from this book. So I invite you guys to pick a number between 21 to 194. Again, take your time, see which number pops up, share that in the comments, and then we will see which number does my intuition feels called to. So yeah, go ahead, share your numbers between 21 to 194. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Robin. Pretty close your numbers are. Anyone else who would like to choose a number? Okay, Patrick. Thank you, Trisha. Thank you, Erin. Hmm. Okay. Then seems like if 74 came up for two people, then let's go with 74 because I'm assuming there is something that the universe really need to communicate through page number 74. So let's see. So, the heading for this is Focus Your Wandering Mind. Increase your ability to harness one of your greatest resources, which is your attention. So, hmm, so the author says our minds are designed to wander. Here is a scenario that happens for me. I am on a deadline for a consulting project, sitting at my home desk with my dog, Max. Okay, Kathleen. Yeah, Kathleen's dog name is also Max. Okay, so yeah, with my dog Max at my feet and the cat Olivia curled next to me as I try to write. Suddenly, I realize that I'm lost in thought about yesterday's client meeting. I don't know how long I have been in the reverie, but I can see that the hands on my old metal desk clock has advanced, and progress on my report has not. Humans are like other animals. We are often thinking about anything anything but the present. We are usually contemplating the past events, worrying about what might happen in the future, or imagining things that may never happen at all. And interestingly, this pattern is hardwired. So, there are certain things that the author shared with us, certain practices that can help us tame our roaming mind so that we can strengthen our ability to focus. So, the first practice is use the mantra just this. So, try to start catching yourself when you get distracted, either from internal stimuli, meaning something happened internally in your body or mind, or an external stimuli like a sound, a notification. When your goal is to focus and you catch yourself daydreaming, use the mantra just this to return your focus to the task at hand. Just this email, just this conversation, just this book. Second step or second practice, recognize and return. The core skill of increasing your ability to focus is this one, knowing when your mind has drifted off and bringing it back to the object of focus. Your attentional control will get stronger over time. Remember that each time that you notice your mind is lost in thought, you build your awareness because you needed that awareness to become aware that you have wandered. So, that is not a moment of failure, whether it is that you're doing in your meditation or in your in your real life, outside of the room. So each time you notice that your mind wander, that is a moment of celebration, a moment of, you know, awareness that okay, I caught my mind. Like we catch the other player in the game of hide and seek. And then you can remind it that just this, because we are going to bring our focus back also when our mind has wandered. So, this is the practical application of meditation. So, it is not just that when you are in the meditation room, you're feeling calm, you're doing those practices, and you're like, okay, I'm making some progress now. I focus more time on my breath, or I'm feeling more calmer. That is not the aim, or not the aim, but yeah, that is not just it. There is more to it. When you are in your real life, that is when you can apply, you can use the muscle that you build in meditation every day in the formal practice, where you choose that where do I want to keep my attention. So you decide that for the next hour, I'm going to meditate while I walk. So you decide that I'm going to focus on this particular task. It can be something doing something on the laptop, it can be doing a house chore, that for the next few minutes or hours, I'm going to focus on that. The moment you drift, the moment you start thinking about something, you get distracted, you catch it, you come back to it. And again, you are meditating in that moment, you are building your muscle of attention. That is the most important resource. You are gaining that control of that most important resource. This feels like it is connected to our first reading today. So, and again, if you find it difficult to come back to the task, to leave that distraction, then there's this third thing that you can try, which is label thinking or label anything that is distracting you. Okay, you can try that as well. It works. So, naming your mind wandering habits is a way to break the trance of whatever reverie you are in, as well as to deepen understanding and reduce distraction in the long term, like planning mind, worrying mind, daydreaming. So, sometimes we find it hard to let go of the distraction because your mind is really pulling you into that thought process, into that story that it has weaved over the past few seconds or minutes, or in the distraction, like what is happening on the road, and you are really curious. So, at that moment, what you can do to cut the cord in a way is to label it, is to name it, like what is distracting you in the moment. So you can say to yourself, you can label it like, okay, this is planning thoughts, this is daydreaming thoughts, this is angry thoughts, whatever label comes up. Again, the point is not to get in making the label perfect, but just labeling it, slapping a label on it, and letting it go. So that letting it go part becomes easier with a label. And same for the distraction, which is outside of you. You can label it like the sound of, you know, um, traffic, the sound of vehicles, the sound of people there, and then you bring your attention back to the task that you decided I'm going to focus on in the next few minutes or hour. And this is how you are extending your practice from the room into your real life. And that is how it is going to benefit you. That is how you're going to experience the real benefits of meditation in your real life. And that is going to motivate you to continue doing this more and more. So, yeah, that was our second reading. Let me know if it resonated with you, Patrick and Kim. Okay, we got a message from both of them. Okay, and before I read both the lovely messages, let me share one more thing before I forget. So, for those of you who are new or who have recently joined me, then I did, talked about this particular thing only, like extending your practice from the room to your real life in two of my resources. The first is this playlist that you can find. There's a free challenge that I have on my profile. So you can go to the home section, which is what opens when you click on my profile. And when you like scroll all the way down, so you will see the playlist, and here it is, 21-day mindfulness meditation playlist. So I think in the second lesson I've explained it in detail, like how mindfulness or meditation can impact you in your real life. It's not just those research terms, like it increases your attention, it improves your immunity, not just research terms, but the lived experience in a way. So, yeah, you can check that out. Or if you want to dive deeper or need more practices apart from these, then you can check out in the courses section. I have a course that I will share here for those who want to really dive in and become more mindful in their daily life. Okay. Okay, now let me go through the lovely comments that poured in. So Patrick says, first step is focus. Just this. Yeah, you decide, you set an intention in a way that I'm going to focus on just this. And that phrase is also used to come back later on. The second phrase is recognize and return. Remember that when we get lost in thought, we are aware and move back to the task at hand. Perfect. The third step is label and name the habits. Wandering mind, daydreaming, or any distraction that comes to your mind. Then letting that distraction go. I personally have been practicing this. Lovely, Patrick. Oh, then it seems like the universe wanted to, bring your attention back to this thing that you have been doing, this practice that you have been doing, and give you a pat on your back to just, help you recognize all of these things that you have already been doing, and say like good job in a way. And thank you for sharing like the summary of it for everyone here. And one more thing that I wanted to add, which I forgot, which was about the third point when the author said that it would help you in understanding. So when you labeling again help you to let go, but also it helps you understand that if you notice, if you try this multiple times and you see, okay, usually my mind gets distracted by thinking or by sounds or by this or that, then you can modify your environment, modify certain things so that that distraction becomes less available for you. Like you, for example, if you do work in the room, in the outer room where there is more noise and you get distracted by something, then you can shift your work to some other place. If it is your thought, you can place like a post-it, saying something that would remind you to come back here. So, like, you recognize what distracts you, you learn about your distractions, and then you modify it. So, that is also something that your labeling helps. So, yeah, exactly. You pinpoint the triggers or the stimuli for those who don't like the word triggers. Kim says, exactly what I needed to hear. My mind is always wandering. I can't stay focused on one thing at a time. I'm always living in the past or the future, hardly in the present. I try to catch when my mind drifts off and tell myself to be present. Awareness is key. I like the idea of labeling the thoughts and letting it go. Thank you, Kim, for sharing that. I'm really happy that this reading, resonated with um, a pattern of yours that you're already working on. Kudos to that. And you got another tool in your toolkit, which is to label them. So I hope that you give it a try and that turns out to be helpful for you. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Patrick says, which takes us back to what we were discussing previously about taking control. Exactly, and especially since the starting line was the most important resource is our attention. So we are taking back control of the most important resource of that we have. Everyone wants our attention. That is all the marketing and stuff is all about, right? So we are definitely learning an important skill these days. Okay, time for our third reading now. Hmm. Okay, let me drink some water. Then we will do that. Until then, you guys can think about whatever it is you need guidance on. So, see what comes up. Okay, let's see. So, again, bring to your mind whatever it is that you need guidance on as we spin. Okay. So in our first reading, we talked about acceptance. Okay, so that like the later books are being related to our first book. Interesting. So the book is Radical Acceptance: Embracing Your Life with the Heart of a Buddha by Tara Brach. Um, Hi Ossia. If I pronounced your name wrong, feel free to correct me. But hi. So Ossia says, I just turned a couple minutes ago. Which book were you speaking about, please? Um, okay, I forgot. Okay, give me a second. Yeah, so the name of the book was The Mindful Day by Laurie J. Cameron. And if you want like the exact spellings and everything right, I also shared the name of the books and the exact readings on my group here on Insight Timer, which is World of Wisdom. So you can find that there as well. You're welcome. So, yeah, let's open our third book for today, which is Radical Acceptance by one of my favorite teachers, which is Tara Brach. Hmm. So, give me a second to choose some numbers so that we can play a game together. So, I invite you guys to pick a number between 16 to 249. See what number comes up first for you. Share in the comments. I will go through all your numbers and pick the number that my intuition feels called to. Okay? So go ahead. Thank you, Robin. Oh, 222. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Okay. Mhm. Okay, I got the message. Mm, amazing, amazing. Hmm. Okay. So thank you, Robin. Kathleen. Um, Kim says 222 is my favorite number. I will go with that as well. Patrick says I was also going to say 222. Ah, and I also like included some tutus in, ours number. And yeah, thank you, Prabhat, for sharing a number. But let us go with 222. Since the universe is like, okay, open that page, open that page. Now I'm really excited. Hmm. So, what came up from this was the practice loving kindness. And it is, okay, so let me also tell you what was going on in my head when I, read the first 222. I was like, I was going to share something with you guys. I was thinking, should I share it with you guys? Should I not? And then all of that happened. So let me share that, and then I will like we can either go through that practice, do something about it. So yeah, okay. So I was going to share with you guys that so yeah, the reason that I like cut short today's live, we didn't do the meditation that we do usually, is because we like I recently learned that my mother might like have a heart in a hole in her heart, and that needs to be operated. So she is going to get the test done tomorrow. So she is going to someplace else, you know, just after this, like within a few minutes. So that's why I had to like cut short today's live. And yeah, I was thinking like, should I share it with you guys and just ask you guys to pray that the test shows that the hole is short and not big. So yeah, I was just thinking that should I ask you guys to like send positive energy or like you know a prayer for her. Um, and don't go with my laugh. I actually like I smile a lot when I'm nervous. So yeah, so yeah, that was going on in my head when I when first see the 222 number, and then all of that happened. And then came this practice of loving kindness. So maybe we all guys, we all can like practice it, not just for my mom, but just, sending loving kindness into the world for your loved ones, for anyone who is suffering in this moment. And we can like close this live with that. Um, Thank you, Kathleen, for your prayers of peace and a hug. Thank you. Doll says, so sorry, Anisha. Much love and prayers to your mom. Thank you, soul. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, Robin, for your loving hug. Kathleen says, sending you and your mom loving kindness. Thank you, Kathleen. I so appreciate that. And thank you for all the hearts, for all the love that you're sending my and my mom's way. And I hope that it turns out to be like a smaller one and everything goes, more smoothly. So, yeah. So I appreciate all the loves, all the nice, beautiful comments and energy that you guys are sending. Kim says, best of luck to your mom. Thank you, Kim. Thank you. Havao says, hi, Anisha. May your mom be well. Hi, Havao. Welcome back. And thank you for your beautiful wish. Patrick says, prayers of positive outcome. Thank you, Patrick. Thank you so much. Really. Thank you for sending out this beautiful energy to her. I really appreciate that so much. Okay. Okay. So now let us do a loving kindness practice and send some love and kindness to all the people that are in your life and all the beings on this earth that are suffering in some manner. Let's do that. Would you guys would like to practice, sending some love into the universe? And maybe to yourself as well. Patrick says, for her and for you and for your family. Thank you, Patrick. Thank you so much. That is so kind. Okay, Kathleen says yes. Okay, so thank you, universe, for sending this beautiful practice to all of us. And now, okay. So I will like of course modify the practice. I won't read the exact instructions, but I will read parts of it. And yeah, okay. So begin by coming into a comfortable posture, settling in, taking a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth, letting go. A few more like this. And on your next breath, Allow yourself to close your eyes, becoming aware of the support beneath you. Feel Mother Earth holding you in this moment and in all the moments up until this moment. Allow each breath to go directly into your heart space. Getting in touch with your loving presence. And now allow yourself to remember and open up to your basic goodness. You might think about the times when you have been kind or loving. And if nothing of that sort come to your mind, then you can simply bring to your mind whoever you think is an embodiment of love. It can be the Buddha, Mother, the Divine Mother, Jesus. So, any entity, any being, whether it is a divine being or one in human form, like Mother Teresa, whoever you think is loving, caring, compassionate. So when you are in touch with either a part of you that is kind or loving, or someone else that is compassionate, hold them in your awareness and imagine them saying these beautiful wishes for you. Imagine them sending these loving kindness wishes from their heart into the universe for you. And notice them saying these words and you receiving that love and care with an open heart. They say, may you accept yourself just as you are. May you accept yourself just as you are. May you be happy. May you touch great and natural peace. May you heal and grow. May you be healthy. May you know the natural joy of being alive. May you and your loved ones be safe. And now let us open this circle of loving kindness. So bring to your mind someone who is dear to you, someone who you want to be happy and not suffer, these wishes at this moment. And now imagine them in front of you, or perhaps by your side, holding your hands. Or you can imagine them or their presence in any manner that feels comfortable for you. And once you have brought in your mind space that person who needs to receive these wishes, the wishes of love and care, someone who needs to receive this beautiful energy from you, then repeat these phrases from your heart for this person. May you feel my love now. May you accept yourself just as you are. May you heal and grow. May you be healthy and happy. May you know great and natural peace. May you know the natural joy of being alive. And now I will stay quiet for a few moments so you can see if some other wishes arise in your heart for this person. Beautiful. And now expand your circle of compassion to all beings on this earth, and holding all living beings in your awareness. Send out this beautiful wish. May all beings feel my love for them. May all beings be free from suffering. May all beings feel at peace in their mind. May all beings be healthy and safe. If you feel called to send out any other wishes to all living beings, you can do that now. And now allow yourself to take 3 deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth, letting go of this practice, knowing that you have done what you intended. You have sent your beautiful, positive energy into this whole universe. Take a moment to thank yourself for making this world a wonderful place by existing in it. You are the reason this world is a better place. You make this world better by being you. And now, when you feel ready, gently open your eyes. Coexisting again in this space with fellow loving beings. You all are the most kindest souls that I have ever met in my life, and I wish the best for each and every one of you. I hope that life brings you whatever it is that you need, whatever it is that would make life, living this life, a beautiful experience for you. So, thank you for existing in this world and in mine. I am just so grateful to have you. Robin says blessings and peace to all. Thanks, Anisha. Thank you, Robin. And thank you so much for all the 6,800 hearts that flowed in. I I so appreciate your love, and thank you for showering me, my family, this space, and my other beautiful family all across the world in this beautiful love. Thank you. Yeah, Kathleen, seems like we got a meditation after all. Yeah, universe has its way of working things out. So, thank you everyone for staying till the end, for being here. And hopefully, I will see you guys day after tomorrow at at the same time. And if not, then maybe a few days later, based on how things goes. So, and thank you for all the lovely wishes that you sent for my mom, for my family, for me. I so appreciate them really. Thank you. Bye, everyone. Take care. Have a lovely, lovely day or night. We'll see you soon. Much love to all of you.